Welcome to APEC channel, and today I have Dr. Vipan Rirngpithaya joining me. He is the chairman of ABAC 2003. Swadika, Doctor. I'd like to start with the first question. Can you tell me a little bit about ABAC?
Well, ABAC is a shortened way to say APEC Business Advisory Council. So APEC is A, business is B, Advisory Council AC, so APAC. And it seems to be quite close or similar to the ABAC University or Assumption University. So here sometimes people mistaken. Okay. And APEC is an organization that started in 1989 among the leaders. And now we have 21 economies in this club, the APEC club. And the reason we call 21 economies because China is represented by the mainland and China Taipei and then China Hong Kong. So in order to avoid confusion, we call economies. That's the reason why we talk about 21 economies in the APEC region. And a lot of people don't understand, say, where are these countries? What are they? So if you look at the Pacific Ocean, and on the right-hand side of the ocean, you can see that on the north you have Canada, and coming south is United States, and further south is Mexico, and then Peru, and then Chile. So that's North and South America. And if you go right down to the southern hemisphere, you come to New Zealand and Australia. On the western side of the Pacific, in the north, you have Russia, then you have Korea, you have Japan, and you have China, Taipei, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia. I think that's about all 21 economies. So they collected together, and the purpose is actually how to create wealth for the whole 21 economies. Now these 21 economies are very diverse, from the richest of $36,000 per capita income in the United States to the poorest of $400 per capita income in Vietnam, for example. And the question, are they not in conflict? Now, if all these members develop what I term it an APEC spirit or ABAC spirit, a spirit of understanding, a spirit of generosity, you really go out to move the whole economy ahead together. And this year, Thailand is being the host, and we are approaching this with a very, very Buddhist way of thinking. So we call it harmony in diversity for the ABAC side, and the government would call it a world of differences and partnership for future. We call the very similar, both the government and private sector, harmony in diversity, and how to achieve balance and equitable growth. So the two things are very, very similar.
Okay. And just now you were mentioning about the extreme case of the U.S. and Vietnam. I mean, since they're so extreme, what can they contribute?
We are not going to mention too much about the differences between the various economies. We rather like to see it as a collective action. Now, how we are going to move forward to reach the goal to create wealth, we think it's under the three-leg system. Okay. Leg number one is through trade and investment liberalization, and the leg number two is trade and facilitation, trade and business facilitation, and the third is called capacity building. Now, a lot of things can be grouped into the capacity building, including financial stability after the 1997 problem. So on the liberalization, we like to see a reduction of tariffs. And we all feel strongly only through trade liberalization, trade and investment liberalization, as well as trade and business facilitation, that we can create a lot of business and create wealth, you see, among the 21 economies. So you can ask what each country can contribute. It's actually if every country set their heart into moving forward through liberalization and facilitation of trade, we will achieve that goal. Since this is a slow process, a lot of people are asking questions, what have we achieved so far? Now, APEC started in 1989 and APEC started in 1995. So now it's more or less we reach about midway for the advanced country. They met in Indonesia, in Bogor, in 1994, and they set the target that we should achieve the goal of total liberalization by the year 2010 for the advanced country, and for the developing country will reach by the year 2020. So now it's the year 2003, and it has been more or less 8 years since 1995, and will be another 7 years more we're going to reach that 2010. The question is, how are we doing? Are we meeting target or not? So in our APEC meeting, at the end of this October meeting, we will probably present a report of what we call the midterm evaluation report. And you can see from this report that a lot of things we have achieved a certain degree of liberalization. Some of them are much better than expected. For example, in the terms of tariff, we have probably the average tariff have been reduced since 1995 to year 2001 from 12% down to 7%. And goods that have to pay 5% tariff or less, the number of goods have increased from 59% to 69%. So these are some of the positive achievements that we have done. But on the other hand, we have to be very careful about what we call non-tariff barrier. So many countries are not being too sincere. So on the one hand, the tariffs coming down, so we have made a study of that. But on the other hand, the non-tariff barrier are being pushed up, and we certainly would like to get all the APEC or ABAC members to reduce this non-tariff barrier and just keep on proceed with the liberalization process. So this is what we intend to do.
How much power do you have in controlling them to reduce?
Well, the ABAC probably step a little back to 1994, 95. After the leaders met up, they felt that this is really something to do with economy and business. We should bring the private sector in. And that's why each economy, the leader will appoint 3 members from the private sector to represent this ABAC. And this private sector of 60 we should have 63 members, but at the moment we have only 62 members. We meet up 4 times a year, and we work to get out certain recommendations that we will present to the leaders, our leaders, how we can see that this BOGO goal can be achieved by this recommendation. So this recommendation, after we have given to our leaders, then the APEC process is that it's whoever is ready to do it, then do it. It's not everybody has to do it. So therefore, for example, when I start pushing the APEC business travel card with this little card, then you don't need a visa to go within the APEC economies. When I started that about 5 years ago, there were only 4 economies that accepted this business travel card. So I kept pushing in this APEC meeting, and now we have 16 economies accept this APEC business travel card. So therefore, if you keep pushing, things can be can be made. Things are achievable.
I presume, how long does this card last? Is it only for...
The card lasts about for a period, short period. It's very much like your passport. Your passport probably lasts 5 years, so this card probably lasts 3 to 5 years. And then you can have it renewed. And it really provides a lot of facilitation for the business people to travel. Assuming you want to go to 3 APEC countries in the next 2 days, our normal process would be go to get visa for China, visa for Taiwan, visa for Japan, and all this. And it takes time, and you just can't go. So it might take you about a week. But with this business travel card, you can go to China, you can go to Taiwan, you can go to Japan, just like that, without having to go to get visa. Very, very good.
How easy is it to get this card? I mean,
for Thailand, we started to practice this year, and in order not to create any problem, we plan to issue 300 cards at the beginning, and let it run for once or twice without any problem. Then we can increase from 300 to 600. From 600 to 1200, so the power of 2 is very powerful if you keep multiplying by 2. Yeah.
So it's not really open for public to apply. It's for...
well, it comes from what we call business trade and business facilitation. So we facilitate businessmen rather than other things. Because on the one hand, we want to facilitate. But on the other hand, you also have to consider about the security. Yeah. The security is very important. There's a lot of people out there try to, pick up something and not really what you wanted, not the aim that you want to set out to do. We want to facilitate business. We just don't want to facilitate crime. So the security part is also very important.
So the filtering process is very important.
Yeah, where I have to do a lot of checking and all this. But at the moment, it seems to start working quite well.
Okay. Is there a theme for ABAC this year, or is it the same as APEC?
Well, our theme this year is called Harmony in Diversity and Achieving a Balanced and Equitable Growth. So it's very similar to what our government has set out, is the world of differences. When you have differences, but we want to harmonize the differences, because we want to look at the differences just like a musician look at the musical notes. You have only 7 musical notes, and yet you can have the most beautiful concert and whatever. So this is through harmonizing the music. And you go to eat very good food, you have only 5 tastes, you see. And yet if you harmonize the taste, you can have very good flavor. And the Thai are among probably the best in making this harmonization of flavor. We have the sweet, the sour, the hot, the bitter, and whatever. So Thai food is actually a good example how we can come up through diversity, through differences, yet we can produce something very good, very concrete. And this year, Thailand being the host, we are certainly pushing forward for our APEC members to develop a good, what I call APEC spirit, a spirit of courtesy, a spirit of understanding, and a spirit of generosity, how we can move forward together. This is the theme. So therefore, I think we are meeting with good success so far. This year we have 4 meetings in the APEC. The first meeting was in Peru. Actually, the first meeting was scheduled to be in Bali, but because of the problem of the bombing, we switched over to Peru. And the second meeting was in Tokyo. Despite the SARS problem, the Japanese APEC members were very brave to stick on to the schedule, and we had a good meeting there. And the last meeting we had in Bali, and then we come up with a recommendation that we present to our leaders. And the recommendation, I brought it to present to our Prime Minister the other day, and this is the recommendation that we give to the Prime Minister. And every APEC member will be presenting this to their leader. And when they meet up in next week, then there's a lot of discussion to talk. This year we have a program also called Meeting the Leaders Dialogue, you know. In the past many years, we took the opportunity to meet up with all the leaders. So the leader would sit on one side, and we APEC members sit on the other side. And then we would go over certain questions and answers and rehearse it a little bit, and then we had that conducted. But the leaders felt that it's a little bit of a show rather than a real open discussion. So this year, our Prime Minister, Dr. Thaksin, has taken upon himself to change the format so that there will be a real open dialogue. So we're going to have this done at the government house, and we'll divide into 5 groups, and each group has 4 leaders, and each leader would be accompanied by our one APEC member called facilitator, and then we have 3 more APEC members representing each 2 other members. So the total among 4 leaders will have 12 APEC members there to discuss for about half hour. And I think it was the first time we make that change, and I hope it will come out to be very nice. So that, but we'll see how it goes on the 20th. Yeah.
You mentioned that it's only involved with 12 APEC members. How about
per group? So we have all together 5 groups. So 12, 5 is 60. So leaving 2. Since we are hosts, I will be accompanying Prime Minister Thaksin to walk around, because we don't belong to any one group, but we just want to make sure that all the groups are doing well. Yeah. So this is the format that we have set out. Yeah.
It seems like Thailand has already played a good host for welcoming APEC.
Well, I think Thailand, I must say that we have a lot of heart, and we have a great sense of service. So therefore, with this combination, we certainly would like to make our guests, all the 20 economies, feel comfortable when they arrive in Thailand. We're putting up a lot of measure on security, and we are putting up a lot of what we call programs in order to encourage all the economies to move forward according, so we could reach the Bogor goal in the year 2010 and then 2020. We have had about 11 meetings in Thailand this year. The APEC had 3 meetings overseas, the last one over here. And we had 11 meetings in Thailand from Chiang Rai, Khon Kaen, Phuket, and now Bangkok.
More questions for you is that who are the members for ABAC in Thailand?
Well, for the year 2003, we have from the private sector, Dr. Thawatchai from the banking, Dr. Vachara from the, what we call Chamber of Commerce, and myself represent the Federation of Thai Industry. So 3 of us are members for APEC for Thailand for the year 2003. And next year is likely to have some changes. I think Kun Sawarat would probably come from the Chamber of Commerce, and Kun Chavalit would be coming in for the Federation of Thai Industry. And for the banking, I'm not too sure whether Dr. Thawatchai will stay on or Nimban will come. Yeah.
Okay. So is there a difference from previous ABAC meeting to this year?
Well, every meeting has a little bit of what we call national flavors. I've been to a couple of these APEC meetings, and in Brunei, certainly you have the Bruneian flavor. And 2 years ago, we had one in Shanghai, and we had very, very Chinese flavor. And in the Shanghai meeting, I guess the firework was so powerful. There were more than 210,000 shots of firework with 6 ships. It was really a very, very good exhibition of the firework power of China, because China wanted to get onto the WTO, so it was a very good exhibition there. And last year we had it in Mexico, in Los Cabos, so a totally different atmosphere. So this year's Thailand, I guess, will put up a very good show for all our members who will arrive next week, as of next week.
What kind of flavors for Thailand are we expecting to show off to everyone else?
Well, I guess we have what we call the Raw Barge procession on the 20th would be the biggest show. And also we have maybe Thai food and Thai dresses, Thai fashions, and I guess maybe many visitors to Thailand, including members and their spouses. They all love to come to Thailand, so therefore we are going to get full participation this year. And what I have done is to get university students, assign them to be facilitator for each our APEC members, so that they could go to shopping and to do. And if people get very, very tired, they can go for a good traditional Thai massage, or can even have foot massage. And at our meeting at the Royal Orchid Sheraton Hotel, we also have some exhibition of art pieces by Thai painters. And so these are the things that this year we also would have the Bamrung Rat Hospital there to provide some sort of check-up for members who want to do a little test on their health. Because the way I see it is that all the executives who come here, they should put a first-class priority on their health. So this is part of our generosity that we'd like to provide it for our guests as well.